Great.
And he's kind of dumb. Let's help him get smart. It's time to teach Tim stuff.
Hey, and welcome to Time to Teach Tim. How are you guys? I'm good. Thanks for asking. We got Brett here today. What are you going to teach me today?
I'm going to teach you about Emo Rap. Teaching Tim about Emo Rap.
Emo Rap. Now, when did you get into Emo Rap?
Okay, so it's a relatively newer genre in terms of music.
All right.
Okay, so the mid 2000s, like 2010s, is what you could say is the early formation of it, sort of, when the pioneers started.
Yeah.
And I have to be very careful because there are nerds on this internet that if I get like even though they've never left their home and been to a show or anything, will be like, actually, you know, so and so. There's a million subgenres.
Yeah,
so let me preface this now. We're going to use emo rap as a broad term. There's a lot of subgenres, trap metal, a bunch of other things that we could get super niche in, but we're teaching Tim about emo rap, and we're going to use that as an umbrella term.
All right.
Just so that to calm the nerds down on Reddit right now.
So what would you say is emo rap? Because, like, to me, like, emo rap kind of sounds like Drake on a bad day.
Okay. Now, you know, Drake is an interesting case because, you know, thematically, the heartbreak Drake and all that sadness. Mm-hmm. But emo rap, you would say it's kind of like the original basis was kind of like a trap hip hop type beat.
All right.
With the emotional thematics of emo music, the sadness, and also samples. A lot of emo rap samples classic emo.
Really?
Yes.
Like
Mineral,
emo.
Yes,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
Mineral, like Sunny Day Real Estate,
yeah.
Postal Service, Death Cab. Like,
really?
Yes.
Oh.
Some of the most popular stuff samples all that.
Huh.
Which you wouldn't think sonically necessarily went together.
Yeah.
But it's amazing because as a sad fat man who also wants to be cool and tough, it's the combination of everything I've ever wanted and loved.
Yeah.
Because as a kid, it was like I was super into rap, but I was also super into rock, like emo, and like Taking Back Sunday. Like, oh god, I was such a Taking Back Sunday nerd. Like Brand New, all those bands.
I've seen Taking Back Sunday like 7 times.
Oh, dude, me too. So many times. So many times. I just saw them recently, like a year or so ago. They were still great.
Yeah. Well, you got to see him with John Nolan again.
Yes, which was great. See, now I know you're a real one because like I was like one of those like hardcore fans like back in the day when they broke up. That was like, whoa, like and then when they were beefing with Brand New, like I was like, whoa, hold on. I'm team Taking Back Sunday. This is such an embarrassing story.
People always talk about rap beefs. No one talks about Brand New versus Taking Back Sunday.
That was like that was a great beef, by the way. And who won? Taking Back Sunday won that beef years later.
Well, Jesse Lacey may have done himself in.
Yes, and there was an interview from like 2 years ago where the guy from Taking Back Sunday was like, well, you know, I kind of always told you he was a bad guy, like, you know, like kind of like, you know, celebrating. Because there was that whole, like, when Brand New put out that Mics Are For Singing, Not For Swinging shirt, like, that was war.
Shots
like,
fired.
I'm like, whoa, no, you don't. And it's crazy.
So it's crazy. So that was the time I was still, like, going to Warp Tours.
Yes.
And there was a flyer that was being passed around, that, like, little square. And it said, where is John Nolan and where is whoever the bassist was? I forget.
Sean something. I forget his name.
But it was a link to a website that would become Stray Late Run's website.
I remember, and they dropped those demos, which were great songs.
Yep.
Those were really good.
Yeah. Existentialism on prom night?
So good.
I was like, I can't wait to go to prom and have existentialism, whatever that is.
I was like, see, like that. And now all of these, so basically all these artists were influenced by all those bands. Like they're super into that.
All right.
So so like you would say you wouldn't expect those groups like Census Fail. Like one of the most popular emo rap songs samples Census Fail.
Really?
Yeah, that's a great one. Like the sampling in this stuff is so great. Yeah. And that's another thing like I love because I'm like, you wouldn't believe how well it goes together. Yeah. It's bizarre. Yep. It does not make sense.
It kind of seems like it's the original, like there's all those videos online of like them mixing songs. It kind of seems like it's the original that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Like it's like the next logical progression from like the Grey album, I guess. Where where they took Jay-Z and the Beatles and White Album, whatever. Yeah. But it works much better.
Yeah.
There's also like some people there's like a like a little bit, there was like a big drug element at one time, but that's not, people who are depressed.
It's not sustainable.
No, exactly. Like a lot of the artists are all clean now. Or like there was like a weird thing where they tried to make it seem like that was all they talked about for like a while. Yeah. And the scene did have there's a lot of deaths involved in the scene. Like a lot of the biggest artists are dead right now, which is always a good. It's a bad sign, but it also tells you the music is good.
Yeah.
Because if you look at grunge, you look at like like a lot of those people died young.
Yeah. You're not getting into Spin magazine until there's a couple deaths.
Yes, exactly. So then all of a sudden everybody knew what emo rap was, and there was an epidemic.
Yeah. So like, how big of a part does the internet play? Because it seems like
the internet is huge. For this,
from what I know about emo rap, is what is the Discord plays a huge part in these people's career.
Yes.
Yeah.
It does. The internet is huge. There's a whole bunch of artists who they don't even like. They exist almost only on the internet. It seems like they don't really do shows much. They don't really go anywhere. They're just sort of on the internet. Their fans are just kind of internet people. It's a very weird.
The world we live in.
Yes.
Is so weird.
It's interesting because it appeals to a large demographic of people. Like when I go to the shows, especially now or whatever, you see lots of different types of people.
Yeah.
That you wouldn't necessarily expect to be into this.
Yeah. Because it does cover everything. Like growing up, like I kind of grew up with nu metal. That was the first, let's take rap and kind of make it our own thing, but still pay a little homage. And then, it is weird because it's the first generation where we grew up where rap was, what our best friend probably listened to.
It wasn't such a weird
hardcore. Yeah, so it was the start of the blend of that. And then bands like 25 to Life came out, or Hatebreed, or E-Town Concrete, where it was the beginning of rap was crossing over and making a big impact in rock music. And
you could argue that without nu metal, this doesn't exist. I would almost say.
Quite possibly.
And I think nu metal, just despite it being considered almost like a joke sort of now, is sort of important.
Yeah.
And I think this doesn't exist without nu metal. And this also fell into the same trap sort of where they just started calling everything nu metal. And then kind of did that with emo rap sort of too. And it's not necessarily sure, Limp Bizkit, all these bands, but they don't all sound sonically the same.
Yeah.
And they kind of did that same thing with emo rap a little bit. So there really is a parallel. Right. It's a good parallel.
Yeah. So what is the origins of you finding emo rap?
Okay. I at the time was back in college. I used to do radio. I always loved radio.
Oh, hell yeah.
Music, from my childhood, I always loved radio. I always wanted to do radio.
Yeah. Where did you go to college?
I went to Arizona State first.
Wow.
I did 2 years.
Sun Devil.
Yes, I was a Sun Devil for a couple of years. I did not graduate from there.
Not many people graduate.
No, not many people. There's a reason why the freshman class has 60,000 students in it, and then the sophomore class has about 20.
Yeah, and that reason is cocaine.
Yes. Oh, yes. And Mexican pharmacies. That could be a whole nother episode.
Oh, yeah.
Brett teaches Tim about Mexican pharmacies because they ruined my life.
That's great. Yeah. Well, I mean, how close are you to Mexico?
Well, Arizona. I mean, if you go to University of Arizona, you are at the border in
Really?
20, 30 minutes.
I don't know why. I always thought it was northern Arizona.
Northern Arizona is like mountains and skiing. Interestingly enough, a lot of it. You would not think so. Like Flagstaff, like...
If you want to teach me geography.
I let me tell you, I don't know about geography, but I do know about emo rap. Anything useful I don't know about. But if it's a pointless subject, I know all about it.
Can you get a degree in it? I don't know it.
I hope so. I feel like I have a degree in it.
Yeah.
I certainly bought enough merchandise to pay for a degree.
So Arizona... I'm just picturing, was it a local influence? Because an emo rap group from Arizona, I can't...
No, see, when I went there, emo rap wasn't even like a thing yet. I went there, and then I left there, and then I took some time off from school.
Yeah.
And then I went back to Montclair State.
Hell yeah.
And that was right around the time this was starting to bubble.
All right.
So, this is so corny, but... I also was dating somebody and had like a breakup around that time too.
Yep.
So it just was like feeding, you know what I mean? So it just like, so I was like sad and but I also still wanted to be like cool and like still fun. And I was, like I found these Bones, I think was one of the first ones.
Yeah.
And like as a kid, like I loved Marilyn Manson. I also like loved like goth stuff. Like I liked like a lot of that stuff. So
Fear Factory.
Yes, absolutely. Like Ozfest, Warped Tour. Like I was like, I've always been a little like weirder, stranger into like different stuff.
Yeah. Well, to me, that's normal.
Right?
So.
Thank you. To me, that is normal.
Yeah.
So it was like I was sad, and so Bones was like one of the first ones, and then I heard of this group. Now, like they're not technically emo rap, but they're also like at the forefront. It was Goth Money Records. Black Cray, Goth Money Records. And they were like super cool because it was like if you took like Gucci Mane beats and like that kind of coolness and swag, but combined it with like the sadness and like tears and just like the chopped and screwed sort of it. It was super innovative. Like they were super based like a lot of the early emo rap sort of stuff sample like kind of went two different directions. There was the core of people who sampled more of like a witch house, which is like a kind of like gothic trance or dance music.
All right. Yeah.
So like in that kind of style, which Black Cray and them went to, and then the more like traditional emo rap where you're like sampling like Lil Peep sampled like Postal Service like on there, and a bunch of like Lil Peep like is the king of it in my opinion, like the best to ever do it.
Wait, did he die?
He did die. So one of my friends directed one of his music videos.
Really?
Yeah, I seen him live. Like I met him. Like his whole crew, like the crew he's with, Goth Boy Clique, like they're the pinnacle of it.
I love the name.
It's the best name. I was a grown man. I'm like, I am fucking GBC for life. Yeah. Okay.
It sounds like very much like I need to go to the mall because I need eyeliner. And a G-Shock.
Yes, you have found the aesthetic, sir. You have found the aesthetic of this. Like it's like that like goth kind of vibe, but also with like a cool, flashy, like we're still like, I still got it kind of thing.
Like
it's very cool.
Just because we're sad, we still have money.
Yeah. I'm kind of sad, but I kind of make money though. Oh, it's so good. Like,
That's all right. So
used to get bullied for my weird last name, like that.
Cool. So you get into it. You're a little sad. Were you into rap before that?
Yes, I've always been big into rap. Like as a kid, like Tupac, like Snoop Dogg. There was always like, that like wannabe, like that gangster type thing.
Yeah.
Oh, I got a good one for you. Coolio. Like, all right, this is a funny story because I didn't like. I'm a little kid. Like my Boy Scout leader dies, so like whatever. I don't know. We gotta. Yeah. So all right. So I got a babysitter, and she's like, "Oh, I know how to braid hair." So I go, "Oh, sweet." So she starts braiding my hair like Coolio style, like all crazy.
Yeah.
My mom comes home. She goes, "We have to go to the wake for your Boy Scout leader." So, but she's like, my hair is in braids like all over. She's like, we don't have time to take all that out. Yeah. So I had to put like Dockers and like a shirt on with these Coolio braids and go to this wake. And my mother was horrified. So I've been into rap and everything for a very long time.
That's like Flava Flav style profile. It's like nice button up, khakis, wild hair.
It's humiliating. My mom, like, as I think about it now, like, because even as a kid, I was aware that people were like, "What is like?" And my mom must have just been horrified. Like, what are you doing?
I had some of the weirdest hairstyles ever. As I at one point had just the middle of my head shaved and just a rim of hair around the
Friar
outside.
Tuck sort of thing.
Yeah, I had checkerboards cut in my hair. I dyed it every color. At one point, I just had bangs.
Oh, I love that.
Just bangs.
Good for you. That's almost like a cholo cut a little bit.
Oh, it was...
Southeast LA, Tim.
Well, I was really into the band Coal Chamber.
Oh, wow. What a great callback. Coal Chamber.
Yeah.
My early Ozfest days.
Yeah. And two of the guys had just the bangs. And I remember we went on a family vacation to Kentucky. My parents didn't go, so it was my aunt, my uncles, they were all taking us out, and I had just the top of my head had hair, the rest was shaved, and I had rubber bands in it so that I had 6 little spikes.
I love it.
Yeah.
You and I are kindred spirits, I feel like.
I see, if only emo rap had existed, because I was just sad.
Let me put it this way. If that had existed when I was a kid, I would be covered in tattoos, head to toe. There'd be like sad. I would look like a desk.
Yeah.
Basically. Yep. There's no way I wouldn't be covered.
Yeah.
Like I would have dived because I loved emo. I was like a sad, fat, heartbroken, high school senior in love with this. You know what I mean? So I would have, and I loved rap. So if you would put those together during my most influential time, I'm like, they had me as like in my mid-20s. I was like falling into that. You know what I mean? I'm like, never mind in my teenage years.
Yeah.
You could have gotten me to join a cult then.
Yeah. Well, and especially because if I'm not mistaken, Xanax is a big.
Yes.
Xanax is like
one.
the
Xanny, take the pain away.
Yeah. It's like the main drug.
That was a big one. And
so I can I do anything on Xanax. Xanax is the worst drug I can ever take because it's like the improv drug. It's the yes and drug.
it is and you don't remember anything you're doing on it.
No.
And if you have a drink or two, you don't know anything that happened.
Consequences do not exist on Xanax.
They don't. That's the problem. Is you are fully there is no inhibitions.
You're in it.
You are
and then you wake up tomorrow and go, "What the fuck happened?"
Oh, I mean, in my dorm, people would be like, "Bro, you were unmanageable yesterday. You have to stop taking Xanax and having a 6-pack. It's not for you."
Well,
I'm like,
I think I had fun.
Yeah, I'm talking about I woke up in my neighbor's couch, with my head in my dorm room neighbor's couch, and I thought I had been temporarily blind because it was so dark, and I was like, I think my eyes are open. Why can't I see anything? And I was like,
oh God.
And they're like, bro, you were in here with a sombrero on, beating a drum at 4:30 in the morning. We couldn't have been more happy you fell asleep on our couch.
Yeah. We're like, we don't even care if it's an OD.
Yeah, no, we were like, we don't care whether we find you dead or as long as you're quiet.
One of the first times I ever took Xanax, I was with a friend. We were smoking a blunt and going to the diner. That was it. We were just hanging out, having a low-key night. He gave me half a bar. I remember getting to the diner, and then I woke up the next day.
Yep.
In a panic. I was like, oh my God, what did I do? So I called him, and I was like, what happened last night? And he's like, oh, you paid for dinner, and then I dropped you off at home. I was like, I have no clue. Like, nope. I had no memory of it. I was like, I did good things.
You're like, I'm the first person to black out on Xanax and be nice.
Yeah. But Xanax,
I'm like, I might actually just need this, I guess. Yeah. Maybe I'm not abusing anything. Maybe this is just what I'm supposed to be doing.
I'm just normal now.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you get into emo rap. It helps you in a big way.
It
helps
does.
you through the breakup.
And I'm doing the radio, and
so you're almost an influencer of emo rap at this point.
Yeah, I'm pushing it heavy on my show. Yeah. I also I love doing the radio because it also gives you access. Like, I got a radio show. You know, I don't lead with it's a college station. I lead with WMSC 90.3 FM. I do a show on there. Can you send me some clean music? I'd love to play your stuff. Hey, you got a concert? I'd love to interview. Can put you on the list. Take you here and you there. So I loved all of that. I'm I love going to concerts. That's my favorite thing. You're now combining all the things I love, and I'm ready to dive in head first.
Yeah.
I'm and I'm loving this. So and the access, just being involved in it, being friends with artists, different stuff, it's super exciting and fun. Yeah. So that adds to the when you're sort of adjacently involved, I guess, would be a good way to put it. I want to be there I was making the scene, one small, radio DJ at a time. I'm not the guy, Elvis's manager, Tom Parker or whatever, but, I did, it was super.
I hate to use it now, but you're not P. Diddy on the scene.
No Diddy here. you're you and your Heine, you're safe with me. Yeah. I don't even want your publishing.
So who are the early and most important emo rappers?
You can't. I don't think you can talk about it without talking about Bones and Team Sesh. Bones and Team Sesh for sure. The precursor to Goth Boy Click was Thrax House. You can't mention emo rap without mentioning Thrax House, which technically was an offshoot of Raider Clan, which I didn't necessarily know that, but I was doing some more research. I was like, let me just do a little extra research just so that way I make sure I have all my, because I'm these people take this stuff seriously. So if I don't have all my ducks in a row, they're coming for me.
I had Liam teach me the history of punk rock, and he brought a whiteboard.
Oh yeah, oh god, there are people who are gonna be like, you're not doing this right. You know what I mean? There's gonna be people you could be. But you absolutely Bones by far is him and GBC. I think arguably most important. You have to throw Goth Money and Black Cray in there. Though sonically, I don't think it's necessarily emo rap, but that the SoundCloud music scene of the 2010s is where it really bubbled and came out.
All right. So that's able to. So it's not geographically located.
No, it's there. Though there are hubs and meccas, per se. That there was an LA scene, super important. Seattle, also very important. Is there a music thing that Seattle's somehow not involved in, right? But Thrax House kind of started in Seattle, I believe, though they're in a lot of these internet, because there's a lot of this is all internet collectives. So you've got people who were in groups together that had never met for years. So you got people like Ghostmane, who's in Schema Posse first with Lil Peep, and Ghostmane lives in Florida. Peep's from Long Island moves out to LA. I forgot where Jay Green was. There's people, they're from all over, and they're connected online. So for years, these guys never even met. A couple of times, their shows were the first times they ever met in person. Some of these people.
That's crazy.
So which is also kind of a cool. Like they're the kind of the first generation or first group that you were kind of able to make music, and then I could send you the song and you could do your thing and add to it.
Yeah.
Like we didn't have to be in a studio together or in the same city like you used to have to be.
Exactly what I thought was so cool about Postal Service. I was like, oh, they made an album through email.
And it's one of like the greatest albums.
I literally listened to it yesterday.
Oh, did you? They're gonna be at the Garden. They're doing a double. It's like they're doing Death Cab's album and the Postal Service album in one night at the Garden.
Oh my God, I don't know if my heart can handle
right?
that.
I mean, like the tears are flowing as we speak. Like,
if you want to talk about albums that got you through a breakup, Transatlanticism.
Yes. Oh God.
And such. Is it Such Great Heights or is it just self-titled? I think it's just
self-titled.
Yeah.
That Death Cab through my mother's death. Even the song "I Will Follow You Into the Dark."
Yeah.
My mom was dying. Just like, it was what it was. She was dying. And just, I hadn't heard that song in forever. I flipping through Sirius XM, and all of a sudden that was on like the indie channel. And I'm like, oh my God, like, dude, like, oh God, I'm driving like to my job. I mean, fucking tears falling down my face. Like, you know what I mean? I'm like, oh God, it was hitting so hard. I was like, oh no, I'm like, I might have to pull this car over. I'm crying so hard. Yeah. So like, as I said, like, so there is a real, that's, people take this music super seriously because there is a real emotional connection that people get to it.
Yeah. That's good. I mean, that's like, I realized recently how much of like me listening to hardcore, I'd never had like a connection to it. I just had friends who were into it. And I really like that music has fallen in my playlist so far.
Right.
But now like stuff that like I was listening to then that I wouldn't tell anyone is still like top of the. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Stuff you have an emotional connection to sticks with you. Yeah.
That's the same thing with hardcore. Like that, hardcore's one of those musics where if I'm at the show, I enjoy it. I'm like, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
But if I go home or I'm driving in the car, it doesn't have the same. I'm like, this guy's screeching for like. I can't understand anything that's going on while we're live and the energy. Like last night, I'll show you. Like if you look at my story, this video guy's screeching. He's hanging from like a water pipe on the thing. He's like fun. But when on the way home, I'm like, that song, I can't listen to that for 3 minutes straight. Yeah. Never mind the whole EP. It's just screeching. Yeah. And when I mean screeching, I mean they're awesome, but he's screeching. I'm not even gonna do it because it's gonna ruin the podcast. But
it's I like the first I love Under Oath.
Oh, nice.
Huge connect, love Under Oath. But when you put that album on in the car, you can't listen to it at full volume without your ears hurting.
Yes. Or like Atreyu from Autumn to Ashes, Poison the Well.
Yeah.
Well, Poison the Well does have some stuff where they at least if you mix it in, Thrice at least would mix in some regular I need some real singing. I need to be able I'm a lyrics guy. Yeah, I love the beat, all that stuff, but I'm a lyrics guy. Yeah. So give me a catchy lyric, give me something oh God, oh that hit. Yeah. So to me, if I can't hear your lyrics, I don't I can't be invested in it.
Yeah, pointless.
I'm not buying your shirt. I'm not coming out to every show. But if you're playing with somebody that I like, I'll enjoy it.
Yeah. It's I'm a big lyrics guy. I try not to listen to sad stuff anymore because it makes me sad.
Dude, it's so funny that you say that because when I drive, I don't realize how much the music affects my mood. And I'm like, whoa. I'm like, all of a sudden I'll be super aggressive or I'm just I get super. And I'm just man,
do you know that
I was good to her, damn it.
You're right. I will have to swing from the tangles of my heart. Do you know the band Spanish Love Songs?
I don't.
So they're Midwest emo kind of.
Great.
But it's the lyrics are some of the stuff he says is like the only way you come up with that line is if you're seriously considering killing yourself.
Oh God, I can't wait to listen to this.
And like there's like a 6-month period where I found them, fell in love with 2 albums, played them back to back all the time, and then I look back and I'm like, oh my God, I was on the verge of fucking a disaster of my life. And I was like, all right, only once in a while.
Yep. Like I love some of like the Bright Eyes and Cursive and some of that like Saddle Creek stuff. I'm like Cursive. I didn't realize how dark Cursive was sometimes. I'm like, whoa. I'm like, I thought I was angry. I saw them live in Arizona. They were so good.
Damn. Yeah, I saw when they were doing the Ugly Organ tour. Yeah.
One of the best albums of like all time. I don't care. Like that album, The Ugly Organ, is so good.
And it's literally like it's so weird to say the only bad song on it is Sierra, which is the most commercially available song on the album.
None of that else is like I like even Artist Hard, like all these songs. I love those. They're a band that I
play that drum beat in my head all the time.
They're one of those bands where I don't know why more of these people don't sample them. Maybe they don't clear it. That could be it. But when I hear them, I go, man, some of these guys would just like if they sampled some of this, like the that dance breakdown in some of those songs. I'm like, you could like really like you throw like an 808 like drum beat in that, like you could really get some.
Well, it's so them specifically though, they're kind of unique because even their albums are. Like he records purposely like down out of perfect tuning because he wants it dissonant. He wants like even when they play live, he tunes. So if everyone tunes their instruments on, he tunes his slightly off of on so that it sticks out more.
There is something about people that put that level of detail and Peep also kind of like revolutionized the way the way he did his vocals, and it's like super like it's amazing. I don't know how he sounds the way it's just so good, and to think he was doing it like a lot of the times alone on a laptop in like a bedroom, and to like the Hellboy album. I mean, to think that was done mostly like through emails and in a bedroom in the middle of the night, like not even like with no booth, like it's like amazing, like the natural talent, like. And even sampling, like it's not easy to sample things and make it sound good either.
Yeah. Especially if you're doing it without like a major label behind you, because then you don't have access to the individual tracks of the song.
Yep.
If you have a label behind you, like there's a lot of the like rap when they got on major labels, the sampling got so much better because they could, I just want the drum from this part. I don't have to include the guitar or the bass that's there because they can get the isolated tracks. And I always wonder if there's like a way to do that without going to the label, so to speak.
If you're real talented, I know, like, I think some people can just reproduce things that they hear.
Yeah.
There's those people, and then it's amazing what some of these kids can do. Another thing I love about this music is the DIY aspect of it. Everything is very do it yourself. You're not like that. It's when the labels came in that really started to mess up everything.
Oh, shit.
And really, like, these guys were putting out music all the time, and then the labels get involved, and they slow everything down. They start with the phonies, the fakes, the industry plants, which is a huge word in this scene and that whole sound. Like, you do not want to be labeled an industry plant.
So that would be someone that the industry picks.
It's like all of a sudden you're like, wait a minute, I've never heard of this guy, and he's got a song with the biggest artist going at this point, and all of a sudden we're seeing him on all these blogs, we're seeing his video, and he's got nothing else out. There's no build up. There was no fan base that organically came and did this. So that's the worst thing you could be in the scene, is to be like, you phony, like that. Like this kid Jumex, I mean, that poor bastard. I mean, he's got like a face tattoo on, but I mean, they ravaged him with the industry plan accusations, and they were right.
Yeah.
But the labels getting involved will always ruin everything.
Yeah. I mean, money.
Yeah,
because
these guys want to eat and live, and that's another thing is why the merchandise and the concerts are so important to the scene.
I was just gonna say, let's get into the merch, because I love a good merch drop.
Oh, and I am
I'm not wearing merch right
You're
now.
looking at a merch whore right here. I mean, like, I'm not well.
Yeah.
I've got this super rare Cold Heart Nathan Copes collab right here, which I've got the t-shirt version. There's two different t-shirt versions of this. I have this. I have an obsessive amount of merch.
Oh, by the way, before I forget, I want you to send me a list of like top 10 or top 5 artists to check out. So I
absolutely.
can include it in the link below.
Absolutely. Yeah, I got some.
Okay,
some great ones.
I also see my favorite thing of merch is stickers. You brought a ton of
I did. I
stickers.
brought stickers and a bunch of stuff because I have a lot of shirts and stuff. But I'm like, am I gonna lug a bunch of T-shirts out here to like? It's like tough to show. But yes, so I have some stickers here of a lot of these are done by this. Nathan Copes does some of the merch. This guy is the best.
Copes.
Yeah, I love Copes. I've met him many times. Like, I'm not gonna say he's my friend, but I met him many times. I've hung around with him at shows. Super nice guy. I can message him. He'll respond immediately.
Yeah.
Like, good. He actually just opened up a store in LA right now.
Oh shit!
And had like a super huge event, like with a lot of these emo, like Wicca Face Springs Eternal from Goth Boy Click, who's like an emo rap icon. A lot of these guys have kind of evolved their sound almost to like an indie rock, like full band kind of thing now.
All right.
Which is also excellent.
That's like I always love when I see like rap artists play with a full band.
It's the best. It adds something.
Yeah.
GBC, like all those guys do full band now. Yeah. It's so great. I saw a couple Fishnark from Goth Boy Click, Horsehead from Goth Boy Click, Zubin from Misery Club. Recently,
I also realized I'm not like nodding my head. I'm just like, yep, yeah.
Are they like
these sound like AOL screen names?
Yes, which is also great, right?
Yeah.
Like I have a Misery Club hat. It's right over there. Like I love it. They gave it to me. So I saw them live, full band. Like it's great. It really is.
Yeah.
So here we have some.
So is there a specific aesthetic that like emo, or does each artist kind of have their own?
Everybody's kind of got their own little bit of a thing, but originally it was kind of like the mix of like designer, like if you were flexing, like you'd like, but with like the kind of a punk goth aesthetic too. So it's like you'd take like one or two pieces of like expensive or high fashion and kind of mix it in with super like grungy like rip stuff, like, which is the perfect dichotomy for what the music is, like sad and flashy. It's like, you know, like just, you know, like the emotions of all over like wild, like you know, young people like and stuff.
Like a Gucci belt but studded.
Yes. Oh wow. You are taken to this like a fish to water, my friend. You and I are going to be sad boys together.
I'm
by the
sad
end.
and white, but I want to be black.
Dude, we are spirit animals, Tim. You know, like we are spirit animals. So here I have some stickers and some collection.
You can show it to the
This
GoPro.
is Ned Arb, okay?
Yeah. Or this bad boy down here.
This is Ned Arb, one of the most important producers. Super talented. He's done some stuff for Peep, like all the big artists. He's not in Goth Boy Click. He's an associate. Goth Boy Click is made up of all artists, and the books are closed. There's no more. You can't get in anymore. There is no more new Goth Boy Click. Peep, Lil Peep was the last member.
Oh,
and unfortunately, he's passed away. Now this is the man Cold Heart, who I was just recently in Cold Heart's music video.
Oh shit!
Yeah, he's putting out a new album in May. He's actually signed to Epitaph Records.
Really?
Yeah, like
crazy.
A bunch of these guys are now signed to Epitaph and like some of these labels.
Yeah.
And it's like, so the punk scene now, the older punks, like when Epitaph puts their music videos up, some of the older punks don't quite get it. They don't like it, but you know, whatever. I'm sorry, it's not a Bad Religion for the 9 millionth time. We're very sorry.
But you have to play 3 chords fast.
Yeah, you're not. Yeah, like, oh my God, this guy's got a melody in the song.
Yeah,
we can't have a melody. What would I'm bald with a beard. How could I have a melody? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, I'm just taking shots at punks, but I don't know. They're very. I'm not with the rigid. That's why I never like that weird rigid
where punk comes from is like the breaking of the rigidity, you know?
Yes.
Like that's what, like you look at Sex Pistols, like that was the original punk attitude. They were against all like anyone who excluded anybody from something.
And then that became the most not inclusive community.
But that
happens to everything. Even this gets gatekeeped.
Yeah.
And a whole thing like the Reddit. Which is another reason why the Reddit and everything's so important, because it's where you can connect and fight. Like if you're in some small town, maybe you're the only one who likes this, or it's hard to find. You don't know anybody. Like this is Yawns. He's also in Goth Boy Clique. Super talented. Love Yawns. Super nice guy. Actually, like if I see him, like he'll be like, oh hey Brett, like these guys are fucking great guys. Like they really are. Like. I'm not gonna say I'm friends with people, but like they appreciate my appreciation of it, and they're super great to the fans.
Yeah.
Fantasy Camp Fantasy Camp is in Misery Club. He's also in the pop punk band Hot Mulligan.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Crazy.
He plays in Hot Mulligan as well. He was playing Madison Square Garden with Hot Mulligan. It's amazing. He's also in another like a punk band called Wild Red, which I really like too.
Wild Red. I've never heard Wild Red.
Yeah, they're pretty good. They're like a newer, but he's super good. I really like Fantasy Camp. A lot of these guys have again, like they've evolved. They're evolving their sound, because I just said like once the labels start, you got to kind of. Yeah. They were always ahead of the curve, so they continue to be ahead of the curve. But it's all it follows. It's all really good. My man Smrtdeath, love Smrtdeath. He is also. I don't know if he's still on Epitaph. His last album was on Epitaph, but he just dropped a new EP. I really like it. There's just something cool about him. I've seen him live a bunch of times. These guys. He's in an emo boy band. They called it an emo boy band called the Boyfriends. With it's Smrtdeath, Lil Lotus, and Lil Aaron, and it is. I love it. It's so good. They've got one EP that's on streaming services. Their other project is only on SoundCloud because of the samples.
Yeah.
But it's super good. Like they're just super fun. Yeah. Lotus has that perfect classic like emo vocals and like pop punk voice. Yeah. Same thing. There's a guy local from New Jersey, from Lodi originally, or Lodi, Maywood area, Shinigami. This kid is so talented. The voice, like amazing. I've seen him, like he's local. The voice, like another classic, amazing voice. Like again, he's another guy. Like he doesn't really. He's gotten completely away from that now. He does like kind of like it's more of like a dance electronic thing now. But oh man, his album like Luna and some of his early stuff, like oh god, it's so good.
The thing that I think I'm taking away most from this is that yes, it's a little emo-y, it's a little sad, but it's mostly about having fun.
Yeah, it's about 50-50.
It almost seems like the contradictory of the emo rap is like kind of fun in itself.
Yes, so, like you're at the show, everyone's singing sad shit, but everyone's jumping up and down, like having like you're like. Like looking at each other, like pounding their chest, like, with the lyrics, like, you know what I mean? Like that real, like, I remember like Taking Back Sunday, like arm in arm with a stranger, and we're like, like, with my last one death, I would apologize for bleeding. Like that kind of like, it's still fun, but it's like the saddest, like same thing, like when, like now when you go to a show and they play Peep songs. It's like the fucking crowd just sings every word of it. Like you throw Star Shopping on there. Oh, look at the sky tonight. All of those stars have a reason. Oh man, like right, like look at like the nerd in me is fly. Like people are gonna be like, "What are you doing?" I don't care. I love it. I'm unapologetic. I fucking love it. It's so much fun. I'm lighting up now with joy thinking about these shows. Thinking about, okay, I saw Peep in 2017.
All right.
So a few years ago. Ago, right? He died in 2017 too. Like, so this is
shit.
Like, you're talking about a guy who was at the peak of his popularity and gone before he even was even close to where everything changed when he died. It really did. It completely changed everything. And it sucks.
Yeah.
It's so sad. It changed there's a documentary about Peep.
Really?
That's on Netflix. They showed it in the movie theaters.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Do you know what it's called?
It's called Everybody's Everything.
Ooh.
There's some information in there. This was done by the label. There's a big court case going on now where his mother is suing the label. The label, let me tell you, was very bad, like plying him with drugs, like all sorts of terrible. Like, he wanted to end this tour that he died on, and they wouldn't let him. Yeah. Their answer in text messages was to have an overdose, and then they could get the insurance money for the rest of the shows. Now, I read through this court case. I read through the documents. Like, it's dark. Yeah. And there was at first, like, the friends kind of got blamed, and there's all these scapegoats. And then through the case, text messages, all these things from the management, the label. Yeah. And it really painted again, when I say the labels ruin everything, the sinisterness of it. Yeah. I mean, that ruined everything. That kid was a fucking star. Yeah. There's just something. He was a magnet. If you watch the videos, the shows, I can't express to you the buzz in the air of Webster Hall when I saw him live at that show. They were supposed to do the small venue. He sells it out. They move him up to the bigger room. It was like an iconic event. Yeah. It really was.
2017. It seems so long ago in a way, but really,
it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot what was I don't know if on a tangent. I forgot what brought up 2017. But I was basically saying like he died 2017, so it was like a very short amount of time. Yeah. But the amount of music, because he was doing it yourself, that you're able to record and put out ahead of time, and they're still putting it out. And his mother, God bless her, does an amazing job with the estate. Like, she is the blueprint for if your son is a musician who passes away, how you handle everything and how you continue to roll it out. Yeah. And it's just, I mean, just brilliant.
Where are we at? All right, yeah. Closing thoughts on Emo Rap.
Okay.
What has it meant to you in your life? Because, I mean, it definitely seemed like you were in a little bit of a darker place and then found a community.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. I felt a connection to it. It was like, finally, I'm like, wow, somebody put together everything I love and kind of packaged it all in one thing for me. It was like... It was the first time I heard music, and I felt like it was being made specifically for me. Yeah. When I heard Hellboy and Crybaby, those Peep albums, like, I'm like, oh my God, like, if I was gonna make, like, he did what I wish I had the talent to do, or the thought of, or like the ability to. I'm like, oh my God, this is it. Yeah. This is how you do it. This is how you put these things together that should not go together. Conflicting ideologies and just all of that, but it just goes together so well. Yeah.
That, and like, especially like, I don't know how old are you?
35.
All right, yeah, so I'm 38, right around the same age. Like, so many of our friends as we got older, like, splintered off in our tastes, but we still hung out, like, all the time.
Yep.
So like, it was to see like those tastes come full circle and be contained into one is kind of like a unifying thing, because then you have some, like, if you have something you can cross over to your friends. Like, my favorite thing to bring up is I love Aesop Rock.
Oh, excellent.
So like, rap heads will be like, what, you know Aesop? And I'm like, I love Aesop. And they're like, yeah, typical white boy. And I'm like, no, like, I go deep. Like, I go back to Daylight, you know, like.
Nice. Look at you.
But it's unifying in a weird way. Having something that you can put on in the car and you and your friend who, like, you could be, skinny jeans, studded belt, and then he could be full FUBU. Like, but you're like, yeah, this shit hits.
Yes, me and my boy Tommy, who I do the comedy shows with, like, we always say, like, it's like perfect. Like, we're like, this is everything. Like, like we could throw that on in the car, like singing any like you could put on any Peep song and I'm gonna sing it for you. Like people consider Lil Uzi Vert, I guess, like Lil Uzi Vert's early stuff was definitely emo rap. Like Trippie Redd, same thing, early stuff, emo rap. Yeah. Juicewrld, people are going to be screaming I didn't even mention Juicewrld, who's another guy who died. Like Juicewrld also died.
We don't have a lot of time.
XXXTENTACION, another one, he was murdered.
Yeah. Like
there's a lot of tragedy as well, and it sucks, but these guys are it's super talented, and just the emotional connection, and you just I don't know. You just click and found something. Like 2017, I was in Cold Heart's newest music video. The song's 2017. Yeah. I'm in the music video for that. Yeah. Super cool, super fun. Like they're super good guys.
We'll have a little link.
Yeah, like
I'll try.
I tried making an emo rap song, as I told you. Yeah. It's terrible. I bought a Smoke a Sack beat. The same guy who produced for Peep. I bought his beat, and I did not do anybody any justice. It's terrible. Oh, okay. Oh, here we go. Just quick, because we've been talking about Peep this whole time, and I can't. Peep and Tracy. Okay, these two go to made some of the best music together. Absolutely iconic. Peep and Tracy, like their EPs together, like the Castle EPs, like required listening. Yeah. Like these guys are some of the best that ever did. My friend Chris Siegel, or Illegal, he directed Peep's No Respect freestyle. This is I got this with one of my purchases from Peep. And then this is the whole Goth Boy clique. This is after Peep died. They did Lollapalooza 2 years ago as GBC. And they did a Love Gang tour, and I've got their little tour magazine here. I just brought some stuff, as the fat nerd that I am. I had to travel with all this.
Well, I'm a big merch guy. I love I literally the Wonder Years is my favorite band.
Oh, awesome, dude.
So I bought their exclusive meet and greet package to a show because they were giving out pins with it.
Oh, nice.
I was like, I just want the pins.
I have a man bag filled with GBC pins, Smrtdeath pins, all these. This guy, Copes. Nathan, nobody makes better merch than my man, Copes. He does the best merch. He does a lot of these guys' merch. He's done a lot of stuff, merch for GBC, Snot, a bunch of people. Nobody is better than Copes. I'd be remiss without saying he does the best merch. You like merch? No, but he did this. I own a whole closet full of this guy's stuff, like all of this stuff.
All right. You also run an amazing show in Montclair.
Oh, yes, thank you.
So let's close with some plugs. You can plug it straight to the camera.
Nothing is Sacred Comedy Night. We do it every month. It's in the Montclair, Bloomfield area. It's a great time. We've had Tim headline it. We're going to be having Tim out again. Our next show will be in May. I don't have the exact date yet, but it would looking for the second or third week in May. We do it every month. It's a great time. We have new comics every month. It's a blast. I'd love for you guys to come check that out. We could talk. I'll talk emo rap with you all day. Poor Tim wants to get out of here. I could do 5 more hours on this.
I will also. I'm going to be headlining Uncle Vinny's.
Yes, congratulations, man. That's huge, dude.
Yeah, I'm very excited. June 26th. So come out. But go to Nothing Sacred. We've had a bunch of wrestling episodes. We had a bunch of pro wrestlers show up.
Yes, at my shows too. We had a bunch of Necro Butcher, Maven, we won WWF Tough Enough. Yeah. You never know who's going to be in the crowd. We've had some emo rap guys in the crowd. We had the band, the Dallas Cowboys, were at the show another time.
Shit.
Yeah.
So come on out. Come out. Support artists. We need it.
Yes. Thank you guys so much. Thank you so much for having me, Tim. This was so much fun. You have no idea how much fun I had.
It is very eye-opening to learn that, something that I literally did not know anything about a week ago. I was like, oh, I have probably a lot of crossover.
I think you might. I'm going to give you some. I'd love to see what you think because I would be. I think you'll enjoy it.
Yeah.
Tim's kinda dumb, let's help him get smart. It's time to teach Tim stuff.